So this is pretty much the hello world in jQuery. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a very simple HTML page with a link. And when you click that link, an alert box is going to pop up that says hello world. So very, very simple. So what we have here is an index HTML5 page, and everything is pretty standard. One thing you'll notice though is this script tag in the head. And what I've done here is actually loaded jQuery into our HTML file. Now this happens to be, if you look at the URL, ajax.googleapis.com, this is actually a Google hosted jQuery on Google's content delivery network, and it's fast and it's really easy to just throw it in the head of your HTML file and have jQuery available in your document. You could also host this locally in a folder called JavaScript or jQuery and download and put the files in there, and then you would just reference them here as well, except you would just reference them to a local path instead of a full URL. So before you get started, make sure you have a full HTML page with your jQuery script ready to go. So like I said earlier, we need to have basically a click me link. So we need to create a link. And we don't even really need to point it to anything right now. So just put a # in your href. And then put some text. So go ahead and save that. Just make sure your link is showing up, and it is. So now we need to add our jQuery. And jQuery is actually just JavaScript. jQuery is a JavaScript library or a JavaScript framework whose main goal is to manipulate the DOM, or the document object model. So the document object model is like the API of the browser. It's how programming languages interact with the browser itself. And since JavaScript is the programming language of the web, it would make sense that jQuery is written in JavaScript. So let's take a look at what I mean by manipulating the DOM. So if we create another set of script tags, actually don't need that. And in here we can put some inline JavaScript, just like we have been putting some inline CSS. And again, make sure all of this stays in the head. So what we want to do is we want to attach an action to this click me so that when you click it, something happens. So before we add any JavaScript or jQuery that manipulates anything, we need to write a simple function that basically holds off on that script running until the entire page is loaded. And we can do that by referencing the document, and this is jQuery notation. This is how we select what part of the DOM we want to manipulate, so in this case the entire document, and we want to make sure that it is ready before we run anything. So now what this is doing is this will hold off on any execution of our jQuery or our JavaScript until the entire page is loaded. Because when we're manipulating the DOM, we want to make sure all of the DOM elements are actually there so we don't have any errors. So now what we can do is we can reference our link, and the action we want to reference is the click. And then on that click, we can call a function. In this case, we're going to alert hello world, and this should put a pop-up that says hello world. Okay, so make sure you're referencing this with quotes up here, and let's see how we did. Let's refresh, and there you go, hello world. So that's a pretty simple little jQuery application. I don't even know if I would call it that, but it demonstrates just how jQuery works and how you can interact with it.